Hello, and welcome back to Pepperroot Gaming. I'm Dragoon.
And I'm Dirg. Thanks for watching.
Before we get started, John Williams wrote some music he wanted to share with us. What have you got? Not bad. Keep at it. It's been another busy week in the bubble. From expanding some of the storage drawers to improving the automation around the base, there's been no shortage of work to do.
Some of the materials that we've needed have just been a real drag for grinding to get them, specifically nether quartz. You either have to go out searching for it in crates and then melt those cubes down into crystals, or sluice netherrack to get chunks at a very rare pace. So we're going to look into doing some mystical agriculture today.
And with that, let's get started.
Oh my gosh, look at all these animals. Why does this thing not work? Oh, we put in a dread lamp because we keep getting animal spawns out here, but they still spawn regardless. We even put in a treadmill system to trap them. No luck. So we'll end up having to carpet this whole area probably. Or swap out all the grass. Who knows? We'll figure it out. For mystical agriculture though, I'm pulling stuff out of my backpack. We're going to need a what's this called? Infusion altar and infusion pedestals. We'll need 1 altar and 8 pedestals in total. When you put the altar down, it gives you a nice holographic display of where you need to put the pedestals. Dragoon, you've got 4 of them, I think, so go ahead and slap them down.
Okay. There we go.
Now we're going to be making the nether quartz seed first, of course, since that is the most painful one to grind out. So you'll need a prosperity seed base, which goes in the center, 4 nether quartz, and 4 tertium essence. You just put these around.
Does it matter where you put them?
It doesn't matter where you put them, so you can make up whatever fancy design you want. Now to make it work, it needs to get a redstone signal in the center. So just pop a button down there.
Oh, that looks intense.
Yeah, it's like their stomach didn't agree with them. Now we've got other quartz seeds. Let's find a spot in here to put it. Right there. So now we've got an infinite supply of nether quartz coming.
Nice.
With mystical agriculture, they also have furnaces. We're using the second tier ones for quite a while, from getting them for quest rewards. But I went ahead and upgraded to Supremium, which is pretty incredible. The stats on it is 4,000% cooking speed and 800% fuel efficiency. So let me just pull out something that can be smelted, cobblestone. I'll show you what it does. Look at how fast that goes. You can even smack that with some time in the bottle. It's done already, before I could even check.
That's wild.
Whole stack of cobblestone. Yeah, it's pretty incredible.
Yeah, we used to have a couple furnaces here just to kind of keep up, but now with how fast this is, we've taken it down to just 1.
Yep. Another part of mystical agriculture that's a bit of a grind is the essences. You upgrade them manually, stack by stack. So we needed a way to get that sped up. So we made crafters from RFTools. The crafters are really cheap to make. You can make them from the start of a pack, basically. Even the last tier 1 is just adding in just crafting tables and redstone torches, if I remember correctly. But the setup for it, to do each step, you want them all at all and int. And what that does is it keeps the items that it makes in the input section, and it stores the master infusion crystal. The last one though, for insanium, you want to change the int to this EXTC option, so that the insanium pops out into the output and the crystal stays in here. And then you can pipe the insanium out into your system. You got some infernium essence on you that you can toss in there, Dragoon?
Sure. Let's see. I've got a couple stacks of it here. So it goes really fast. You can see through the steps. So let me go ahead and drag in a whole bunch of stacks here. And you can see it rapidly processing through them. And yeah, it's taking it all the way down to just 2 Imperium essence and 1 Supremium. So not even enough to get to Insanium.
Raptor does use power, and in the last episode we said we were going to automate our power a little bit. And the way we did that between episodes was making this animal rancher block. This will automatically milk or shear any cow or sheep in the vicinity. By default it's just the one block in front of it, but if your luck is as good as ours, you've probably got a bunch of these add-on range upgrades for industrial foregoing. We had an 8 one, and it expands it all the way out to here, all this green box area. So anything that steps in here is going to get milked or sheared. So we have an endless supply of milk now.
So last time we were showing off the RFTools storage and the storage scanner, and that has worked pretty well. You can see we've fully populated this drawer wall here, but it has been working almost too well, especially with the mob farm. We're just getting resources so quickly that we had to expand a little. And it's getting a little nuts. So now that we have this massive wall here full of drawers and we're kind of already full up here too, we're going to start looking at some other solutions. So I think next time we're going to spend some time going over refined storage and kind of what the difference is and how does it work. Still trying to figure that out ourselves.
I was going through the different items that we've been getting tons of through the sluices that we automated last episode. One of them was Cinnabar, and I had no idea what to use that with. So I went through the item description, and let me pull one out for you. And we'll hit U. And there's this category called Induction Smelter Catalysts. And this is like the only thing that I could find it was really useful for. And in fact, it's the best catalyst of its type. You can see that by hitting up here, and it shows all the items that are used as a catalyst. I didn't know what that was for though, but it shows over here that it's for the Induction Smelter, which is a thermal series item. And when you see the uses for it, it just breaks down your ore into bars, or your chunks, or not your chunks rather, but your clusters into diamonds or emeralds or whatever. But the catalyst for the Cinnabar, it does 3 times the primary modifier and 3 times the auxiliary modifier, which means that for every, for instance, the Invar here, for each Invar blend, it'll do 3 Invar ingots. Or what we really needed was emeralds for upgrading our drawer system. So for each cluster, we were getting 3 plus the additional chance of 50% on more. So that runs out to what, about a 3.5 emeralds per cluster compared to just getting 2 from the smelter. So at this point the smelter's mostly obsolete, except for a couple things.
Speaking of the smelter, we've made some continuing improvements over here. We've added a few more of these seared drains for additional output, and we've added these seared channels here. These are pretty cool. You pour whatever you're making in here, and it'll spread out and fill whatever containers you have set up. And if you actually look down from the top, you can see these little chevrons here that kind of indicate what the flow is going to be. So if you right click on it with an empty hand, you can change the direction or start shutting it off and choose where it's going to go. You can also right click on the side and have it make another output. Oh, man. There we go. So you can kind of change things on the fly for whatever needs you have. If you look up at the top, we've also increased our blaze blood production. We went from 1 to 9. Dirk, do you want to hop up there and fire it up?
Yeah. Some bars on my inventory actually, so break this open and put them in. Ready for the button.
All right.
So much blaze blood.
Nice.
Blaze powder for days. One run of that got us 42 blaze powder.
Excellent.
1.8 buckets of blaze blood. Speaking of running out of inventory space also, we fully automated our sluices here. You'll notice these ender chests up here. They are sending in sand and gravel, which are being generated through the use of these material stonework factories. This one's making gravel for us, shooting it off into here, and this one's making sand slowly for us, very slowly.
And I'm not sure if it's intentional or not, but I found that the material stonework factory can also make silicon. You crush stone a few times and it will output silicon, which you'll need for a lot of the refined storage items. So this was a lot cheaper than making it with quartz.
Yeah. You used to have to smelt another quartz for it, so cobblestone is a much better option.
And it's free.
Yep. We did get a new patch, which is 1.6, and with 1.6 they added in an auto hammer, which does the same thing as the stonework factory down there, but without needing power and much faster. So I've got an iron one here. So let's hook this up. Put that there, and I think the blue was the input and red is the output. Let me check in the quest just to be safe. Did add a quest for it. Here it is. Blue slot is the input and red slot is the output. So yep, we gotta flip this guy around. There. That. And I thought I had a couple drawers on me, but I must have put them in here. So pull them out. Go. Drawer. We got a drawer. Send the items. And let's see what we got. Surely there's some nether quart or some nether rack. Yep, bunch of it. Didn't mean to pull out just a single piece. Oh, if I spelled nether correctly. There we go. Oh, we throw another. There it is. Another rack goes in there, gets pulled out automatically and pushed into here. Oh, gotta set this. And shoots right into this. Which we've also got automated with lava through the ender tank down below.
Nice.
So that's how we've been mainly getting quartz. Very slow.
So one of the last things we're going to get into today is digging into Botania. We want to get villagers set up for kind of a trading hall. And I know there's a way to summon villagers using some of the items you can craft in Botania. And it is a broad, in-depth mod. So we're going to dig into that and figure out what we need to get started. So Botania is all about mana. It is a resource you need to transform materials into different crafting materials. You'll store it and use it for large-scale spells and all kinds of items, and it's a pivotal resource. So you'll store it in these mana pools here. We're going to kind of get to how we do that. One of the first things you're going to create is this petal apothecary here. It's this little podium. We're going to go ahead and get some water and dump that in here to fill it. And one of the things you're going to need a lot of are living wood and living stone, which you'll craft by making a pure daisy, and that will transform materials into these Botania crafting materials. So let's go ahead and drop in a couple of these white petals. Just going to throw in 4 of them. Ooh, and I think I need the some seeds as well. So 4 white petals, and then we'll just grab some seeds here. We're just going to use the wheat seeds. Throw those in. All right. So now we have a pure daisy. So let's just go over here, and we'll need to plant this daisy. So let's go ahead and find a space for it. Okay, so doesn't look like much on the surface, but if I go ahead and surround it with some stone, you'll see it starts glowing. These little particles are flying around everywhere. This is going to transform over time this regular stone into living stone. So it is just kind of a time-based thing, so you can come back or wait around for it.
I wonder if we can hit time and bottle on it. Looks like maybe.
Yeah. All right. So that crafted all of it at once. Perfect. We'll go ahead and throw the wood around here as well. Let's see. That is pretty much.
Back with time in a bottle.
Yeah. Well, that's efficient. Okay. So that's how you get living stone and living wood. And a big mess.
3-year mess. I got this. I made the mess. I'll fix it.
You also have all the blocks.
That's because I'm stingy.
Hold on. You missed a spot right over here. Let me just go ahead and... There you go. Got that one for you.
Thanks. We got our living rock. And with the living rock, we're going to make some mana pools. And to do that, it's just the same pattern as you would with making a boat. So 5 living rock, and we got a mana pool. We'll also want a wand of the forest, which we make by, let me hit R on this, some living wood twigs and mystical petals. The mystical petals can be any color you want, and one of the steps in the quest line is to get the fertilizer for it, floral fertilizer. You'll probably want to spam that all over the place to get every color of petal, because you'll end up needing all of them eventually. After you make your wand, you'll also want a mana spreader, Mana spreader's not in the quest, so you'll don't want to forget about it. Mana spreader will take mana from your mana generators and shoot it into the mana pools, or wherever you need mana. And to get a mana spreader, you need the living wood. I can't remember if it's planks or the wood itself. So let's do a quick search. Spreader. It is the wood itself. So the wood, a gold ingot, and a petal of any type. That makes one spreader. I like to put them up in the air so that you can fit more flowers underneath it, which are the mana generators. You would take your wand and crouch click it, and then crouch click the mana pool, and you see it change. It just swapped from being pointed at this mana pool to this one. So any mana it collects will then shoot into this mana pool to fill it up.
So these endo flames kind of work by transforming whatever fuel you give them into mana, and the mana spreader then points it and shoots it to whatever you point it at.
And they're made the same way as the pure daisy. So you just toss your petals and the JEI for it, which, what are these called again? Endo flames. Endo, right here. So it would be brown, red, and white. Not white. Gray petal, light gray. And then after you toss those in, you toss your seed in, and it would give you a flower. You'd want to plant those by your spreaders. And in previous packs I found it would be most efficient to do 3 of these per spreader. It may have changed since the last pack I really went far into Botania with was in a 1.12, so things have most likely changed, but I kept it with how I remembered it. So we've got 9 of these and 3 of the spreaders.
Okay, so as Dirk was saying, these endoflame flowers will take whatever fuel you throw in them, most flammable objects, and start turning it into mana, which then go into the mana spreaders to be shot to wherever you have them pointed. So if I take a block of coal here and just toss it in the general area, they should start burning it. There you go. This flower right here in the middle took it and is now turning it into mana, and the spreader is shooting it at the pool. Cool. So instead of standing here and feeding it endlessly, we try to think of a better way to do it.
We got an automated setup here that uses a dispenser with a pressure plate on it, and if we step on it to trigger the initial one, it should launch one up. There we go. And the flower will eventually absorb that one, and then it will trigger another one to pop up from it. Dragoon can go over the details on the redstone for that.
Sure. So we wanted to make this kind of automatic, and kind of here's what that looks like. There's a dispenser here at the bottom that shoots up through a pressure plate, and then once that pressure plate is being held down by the item, it does not refire until something takes that block away. So the flower will absorb the block of flammable material. That'll send a pulse and trigger the dispenser to fire again. So we've set it up this way. We have this block with a redstone torch to invert the signal. So every time we step on this pressure plate, it sends a pulse here and then toggles the invert gate and then goes through these 2 repeaters here, and this is just to add some delay. So we've got each of these set to 4 ticks, so a total of 8 ticks delay, and basically that just keeps it from misfiring and continually firing items up. So let me go ahead and fill it with something. Let's throw some slime in here. Now, nothing's going to happen until I step on this plate here. So let me go ahead and step on it once. It fires it up, and the item holds the plate down, which keeps that signal high, which shuts it off on the other end of the block. So now it's just going to wait until, in this case, one of the end of flame flowers burns it or picks it off, and then it triggers for it to refire. So that way you can fill this thing full of fuel, and if you have your area chunk loaded, it will just continue to run, filling up these mana pools and get things moving for you. They fill up very slowly, so finding a way to automate this is going to be in your best interest.
Should also try to have something holding in the charcoal. Dispenser's not the most accurate, so it does pop off to the left or to the right sometimes, or even to the front, so it doesn't stay on the plate to stop the next triggering. So if you're unlucky, it may continue to fire. So we've got ours surrounded by the apothecary and a runic altar.
Yeah, that's good to point out. Here we've kind of boxed it in with these cobblestone bricks, the same way we did with the altar and the pedestal up there. And that's just to make sure that every time it fires, there's, sometimes it fires off right there to the left, this time over to the right, and it can just fire far enough away that it doesn't land on the plate and hold it down. And then you'll just fire all the fuel out in a couple of seconds and be done with. So boxing it like this, make sure that the item lands back on the pressure plate, and it keeps working.
There's another option for doing this using a Botania item called an open crate, which would just continuously drop items from it down onto whatever's below it, which you could set up a hopper system with a plate and redstone running up and over and then on top of the hopper to shut it off, and kind of the same idea. We just wanted something that would come up through the ground and look nicer.
So a bunch of the items that you're going to need are mana steel, mana pearls, mana infused string, and mana dust. Those are all made by taking either an iron ingot, an ender pearl, string, or redstone dust and just dropping it into a mana pearl, or sorry, a mana pool. So let's go ahead and do that now.
Diamonds too.
Oh yeah, good call. We'll go ahead and make a few of those as well. So you can either drop them individually by just throwing them in there, or you can just get close and drop it out of your inventory and drop the whole stack. And let's go ahead and get some diamonds. I think 10 ought to do it. Okay, so now we have these crafting resources. Okay, so the next thing we're going to do is create some runes, and to do that, we're going to use this runic altar. It stores mana as well, so we're going to need to go ahead and point one of these mana spreaders to it. So I'm going to shift-click the mana spreader, and then shift-click the runic altar, and now you can see the mana spreader is shooting the mana towards that. Next up, we are going to create the Rune of Mana. So look it up in JEI, and it is 5 of these mana steel ingots that we just crafted, and 1 of these mana pearls. You just place all of them on the altar, and it'll require this much mana that it shows down here on this bar to create the rune. So let's go ahead and do that. 1 mana pearl. I'm just going to go ahead and right-click these in here. Okay. So that noise means it is ready to create the rune, but unfortunately it does not have enough mana to do so yet. Once we do have enough mana, we'll be able to right-click this and create it. So we're just going to go ahead and let this mana spreader do its job. Alright, so looking at the runic altar, I can see that it's finally done charging up. The little X has gone away, now shows a check mark, and I need to go ahead and give it a piece of living rock. And then I need to right-click it with my wand. Awesome. Cool. So we just crafted one of those runes. Occasionally, if it drops back into the wrong place, it can kind of get put back into the spell rotation here. If you shift right-click with an empty hand, it'll allow you to pick it back up. So if it's floating around the base and you can't get a hold of it, that's the way to do it. Okay, so one resource we need and are not going to be able to craft through the mana pool is Terra Steel. So that is this green ingot here. And the only way you can craft that is with this terrestrial agglomeration plate. Probably butchered that word, but it actually requires you to build this structure here and put this craftable plate on top of it, and then it will take mana from pools or from mana spreaders and convert these items that you throw on top of it into this. So one Terra Steel ingot is going to require 1 ingot of mana steel, 1 mana pearl, and 1 mana diamond. So let's go ahead and get this built. I've actually got one here, but looking at the recipe, here's where those runes come in. We need a rune of water, rune of earth, rune of mana, rune of air, and rune of fire, a block of mana steel, and then some lapis blocks. So we've got that crafted up here, and we're going to build that structure.
Book is really handy for that. If you open up your book to the page for it, it shows you the proper layout for it, but also there's this, looks like an eye, kind of. If you click on it, and then it shows you just a hologram in the world, which you can then find where you want to place it. Let's get that centered about here. And now it's stuck there. So we just have to fill it in. I'll show you do the living rock on the corners, and in the middle, these other ones are lapis blocks. And then we're ready for the terrestrial agglomeration plate.
All right, and
Still got it on
we
you?
know, I do, and we know from experience that building this layout incorrectly will make it not work, and you'll be scratching your head and wondering why. So make sure you follow that hologram. Let's go ahead and place this right here in the middle, and there we go. This is the whole altar. So this is going to need mana for power, and we already have a bunch stored up in these mana pools here. So there's a way that we can use this mana instead of having to point all the spreaders to it and then hoping that it has enough power to get it done before the items disappear. I guess it's important to note that all of these Botania items that you use for crafting items, they do not like standing out in the open air. So, for instance, if I take one of these mana steel ingots and throw it out here, it will disappear over time. So make sure you're not using them until you're ready to craft this recipe.
Now the best way to send mana from your pool to wherever would be these things called mana sparks, or just sparks rather, in my hand. And these are crafted with blaze powder, gold nugget, and 2 petals of any color, or the Botania mushrooms. We put 1 above each mana pool, and 1 where you want the mana to go. That. So now they're all tied to this.
And if you right-click on it, it will actually show you a quick beam of where they're sharing power. So if I right-click on this, you can actually see it shoots a beam out indicating that it is working with this plate, which is awesome.
To make the Terra Steel ingots, we're going to need a mana diamond, a mana steel ingot, and a mana pearl, which, as Dragon mentioned earlier, is from a diamond, an iron bar, or an ender pearl tossed into the mana pool. Do you still have some of those on you?
I do, and you toss them onto the plate, correct?
Yep, right in the center there.
Okay, so you can actually right-click on this one. You can throw it or right-click. I'm going to go ahead and right-click on each of them. And now that the items are on there, you can see the special effects happening. Awesome.
There we go.
And you want to make sure you collect those items pretty quick. Now, you'll notice that we actually had these full, and you can see this mana pool is down to 3/4. In fact, they all are. So it's about, yeah, this one's down to just half. So it's about a full mana pool's worth of mana to generate that one ingot. So
I think it's half a pool, actually.
oh yeah? Okay. But definitely something to keep in mind. Make sure you have those mana pools charged up before trying to start this.
On our quest to get in villagers, the next thing we need is a portal to Alfheim. And the Botania book, again, is very helpful for that. If we go into the Alphamancy category, the only thing I've got unlocked right now is the portal to Alfheim. And it shows in here that the requirements are going to be 8 living wood blocks, 3 glimmering living wood blocks, an elven gateway core, and at least 2 mana pools, and natura, not sure about the pronunciation of that, but some pylons. The next page shows the crafting for the elven gateway core, which is 6 living wood and terrestrial nuggets, and the pylon also, which you would need a couple mana pylons made, and you can just shift click to get that recipe too. So the page after that shows the portal, just like with the terrestrial agglomeration plate or whatever that thing was called. It's also got a visualize thing. So we click the eye, put that down. How about here?
Sounds good to me.
Should lock it in place. There we go. So let's get some things out. We need 8 living wood. Let's just grab a whole stack of that. Dragoon went ahead and made some glimmering living wood. So I'll grab that out. Put those around. We need living wood, living wood, living wood. This must be the glimmering one. Living wood. Another spare block there. Oops, wrong spot, I guess. We'll just break those. And that's another glimmering. Living. Go around a corner again with a living, then a glimmering, and another living, and the center here is the core, which you gotta craft up still. So let's pull that up. Just search core, and I should have done that in a tablet, so we can just do the crafting in that. So let's do that. We need the nuggets, which is just from breaking down the ingot that we made. There we go, we got a core. So here's our gateway. Now we've got to activate it. And to activate it, we need to put down a couple mana pools. Let's see if we've got any backups in here. Got one, so let's go ahead and make another also. Plus, got 2 spare mana pools. They have to be within 11 blocks of the core block. I guess I'm pretty sure that's what I read in the book. We also need the pylons. I'll just start out with the mana pylons, making 2 of these. I use a mana diamond in there, by the way, so don't get confused with being a normal diamond. And then these get converted into natura pylons. We actually don't have any Eye of Enders. So make a whole stack of that. We've got these 2 pylons made. Put them inside the mana pools. So, what we're missing now is mana. And an easy way to transfer mana is with mana tablets. Which is just living rock and a mana pearl or a mana diamond. Let's go ahead and we'll make 3 of those since we've got 3 mana pools here. It's not letting me make another one. Must be out of something. Oh, rock. Wow. Okay. Well, we've got a bunch of mana tablets already made, so instead, we'll just grab some of these. These, you want to check on the mana pool with your wand, and you'll notice there it shows a picture of the tablet with an arrow pointing to the pool. That means it's going to pull the mana from the tablet and put it in the pool. So we want to crouch and right-click the mana pool with our wand to change the direction so the mana goes from the pool to the tablet. And just toss your tablet in. Oh, and try not to fall off the ledge. But you'll see the mana slowly draining out, going down. So let's get these other ones set up also.
Went ahead and filled it up already.
Oh, you did. Cool. This one's just about full. So we check here to confirm, and it shows tablet to pool. So we take our full tablet and try not to miss. There we go. These are getting filled up then. And the book warns that it takes a substantial amount of mana to open the portal. So we don't want to attempt to do that until we've got these pretty full. And we're back. We have 2 mostly full pools. We want to get this taken care of. To get the portal active, we need to smack the core with our wand. You ready?
Ready.
Here we go. And see. See the mana being pulled from the pylons. And how much is draining? Not a whole lot. Yeah, okay, so it wasn't nearly as bad as what the book made it sound like. So the item we needed this for was the pixie dust, which JEI shows it as just being a mana pearl tossed in. So, since you've got the mana pearl on you, most likely, you get the honors.
Alright. Nice.
Cool. Did you make 2 of them?
I tried. I threw 1 in, and we got... they were behind the screen, so it was working.
I thought you didn't appease the elves.
That's what I was worried about. I mean, based on other games, elves and I have a very tenuous relationship.
Oh, yes. We do cut down a lot of trees. With the 2 of them, we can make 2 cocoons to get 2 villagers to get a breeding setup going. That way we don't have to keep doing it.
Alright, let's take a look.
Don't know if these are going to continuously pull from the mana pool just to keep this alive, but it doesn't look like it is, and if it is, it takes a long time to drain it at this pace, so I'm not going to worry about shutting it down.
There we go. The mana cloth for the second one. Alright, we've got 2 of these cocoons.
Awesome. Now to get the villagers out of that, we have to feed it emeralds. I'll grab a stack of emeralds out.
We just place this thing anywhere?
Sure, yeah. Unless you want to get a little spot set up for it, that we don't have to, track down the villagers when they come out.
That's a good idea. Let's go ahead and build something real quick.
Sure. We'll be back.
Okay, so we put together this little shell for him. And we'll go ahead and we'll place the cocoons right here in the back.
And I will feed them the emeralds. Just got tons of emeralds, so I'm just going to spam it.
Kind of creepy how they move.
Sure is. Yeah, looks like we've maxed it out. Okay. Over time, they will eventually break, and we should get a villager out of them. So let's speed it up. Let's see if that's even possible. There we go. We got a kid. Congratulations. It's a maybe boy. Or girl. It doesn't have a full head of hair. Twins.
Truly blessed.
Yep. This is like being a parent. Especially a parent to twins. One going that way, the other going this way. One falling in a hole.
It already fell down the stairs.
Portals into other worlds. Can you pick him up or something? Jeez.
I think so.
Standing there looking up at you like, pick me up, Daddy.
Right. I know I was afraid to click it. I was like, I don't want to punch him.
You ruin your discounts before you even get a chance.
Right. I feel like it really sets the wrong tone for the channel. Alright, so I think that's going to wrap it up for us for this episode. We're going to learn the joys of parenting, and we'll catch you next time.
Thanks for watching.
Bye.